He's 34 years old. His laundry has been sitting in the dryer for 3 days. His mother reminds him to book a dentist appointment. His girlfriend pays most of the bills. He talks about starting a business. He's been talking about it for 6 years. And somehow, he still believes he's one breakthrough away from becoming the man he was supposed to be. But he's not lazy. That's what makes this dangerous. Because what if the man-child isn't refusing to grow up? What if he's terrified of being exposed as an adult? You probably know someone like this. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's a brother. Maybe it's someone you've dated. Or maybe this feels a little too familiar. From the outside, his life looks normal. He has a job. He pays some bills. He functions. But look closer. Every responsibility feels heavier than it should. Every commitment feels like a trap. Every difficult conversation gets delayed. And every year somehow looks suspiciously similar to the last one. He says he's figuring things out. But years keep passing. Nothing changes. And that's where most people get it wrong. They assume the man-child is someone who wants to stay young forever. But psychology suggests something much stranger. Many man-children don't want to stay children. They simply don't know how to become adults. Because adulthood isn't something that magically arrives with age. It's something you practice. And if you avoid practicing it long enough, you never develop it. Think about learning to swim. Imagine someone who spends 20 years standing beside the pool. Reading books about swimming. Watching videos about swimming. Talking about swimming. Planning to swim. But never actually getting in the water. Sounds ridiculous, right? Yet that's exactly how many people approach adulthood. They think confidence comes first. Then responsibility. But reality works in reverse. Responsibility creates confidence. And this is where the trap begins. As a child, someone else absorbs the consequences. Someone reminds you. Protects you. Guides you. Cleans up the mess. Life has guardrails. Then adulthood arrives. Suddenly nobody is keeping score except reality itself. Miss a payment? Reality notices. Ignore your health? Reality notices. Avoid difficult conversations? Reality notices. Waste years chasing comfort? Reality definitely notices. And for some people, this transition feels overwhelming. So they retreat. Not physically. Psychologically. Instead of facing responsibility, they delay it. Instead of solving problems, they distract themselves from them. Instead of building a life, they consume one. Here's where it gets strange. The longer you avoid responsibility, the more frightening responsibility becomes. Imagine receiving an important email. It takes 2 minutes to answer. But you don't answer. Tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. Eventually opening the email feels stressful. The task didn't grow. Your fear did. Now imagine that process happening for years. Not with emails. With life. Commitment. Career goals. Relationships. Personal growth. One avoidance becomes a habit. The habit becomes an identity. And the identity becomes a prison. But beneath all of this sits an emotion most people never talk about. Shame. Not guilt. Shame. There's a difference. Guilt says, I made a mistake. Shame says, I am the mistake. And many man-children secretly carry enormous amounts of shame. They feel behind. Less successful. Less capable. Less mature than everyone else. But instead of confronting that feeling, they hide from it. Because if they genuinely try and fail, the shame gets confirmed. So they choose a safer option. Never fully committing. Never fully risking. Never fully growing. Because then failure always has an excuse. I wasn't really trying. I could have done it if I wanted. It's just bad timing. It's not my fault. The excuse protects the ego. but it slowly destroys the future. Think about how many dreams die this way. Not through failure. Through postponement. The business never starts. The conversation never happens. The relationship never deepens. The opportunity never gets taken. Not because the person lacks talent, but because they keep waiting to feel ready. Here's the truth nobody likes hearing. You will never feel ready. The people you admire didn't feel ready. The confident people around you didn't feel ready. The successful people you envy didn't feel ready. They acted before they felt ready. And that's what changed them. Most people believe maturity means becoming serious. But that's not maturity. You can be serious and still be emotionally 12 years old. Real maturity is emotional responsibility. Can you tolerate discomfort? Can you hear criticism without collapsing? Can you admit you're wrong? Can you keep a promise when motivation disappears? Can you face reality without demanding reality change first? That's adulthood. Not age. Not status. Not income. Responsibility. And this is why relationships with man-children often become exhausting. At first, it feels like helping. Then it feels like managing. Then it feels like parenting. You remind them. Motivate them. Encourage them. Rescue them. Carry them. Until eventually you realize something painful. You are building their life while neglecting your own. Because every relationship needs two adults. Not one adult and one oversized child. But here's the twist nobody expects. The man-child is often suffering too. Far more than he appears. Every avoided responsibility quietly drains self-respect. Every broken promise weakens confidence. Every excuse creates more distance between who he is and who he wants to be. And deep down, he knows it. That's why many man-children feel stuck. Restless. Frustrated. Lost. Not because they don't want a better life. Because they keep avoiding the very things that create one. And eventually reality delivers a lesson nobody escapes. Time keeps moving. Whether you grow or not. One day your parents get older. One day opportunities disappear. One day your friends move on. One day your excuses stop working. And suddenly you're forced to face the responsibilities you've spent years avoiding. The scary part? Responsibility never gets lighter. You simply get stronger by carrying it. That's the secret. The confidence you want is hidden inside the responsibility you're avoiding. The growth you want is hidden inside the discomfort you're escaping. The life you want is hidden behind the decisions you're postponing. And maybe that's what adulthood really is. Not having everything figured out. Not becoming fearless. Not becoming perfect. Just reaching a moment where you finally understand something simple. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is coming to build your future. Nobody is coming to become the person you're capable of becoming. That's your job. It always was. And the moment you stop running from that responsibility, you stop being a child. And start becoming something far more powerful. An adult. Not because of your age. But because, for the first time, you're willing to carry your own life. And that changes everything.